agree with my colleagues. This attack of the Hamas was totally surprise for Israel in all the way that you look at it. Actually, Hamas have changed the rule, and now Israel need to change the paradigm regarding Hamas, regarding the Gaza Strip, but maybe also regarding the whole Palestinian arena and the way that the Middle East is supposed to be. The aim is now to is toppling Hamas regime. It means that it will take a long time, tremendous effort, and a lot of casualties regarding Israel. So it won't be easy, but there's no other way. But I think that the real things now is that Israel, the United States, international elements need to sit right now and think what's going to be, how can we design or redesign the shape of the Middle East and the Palestinian arena the day after Hamas. And I hope that after my lecture, I will show what is not only war between Israel and Hamas, it's much more bigger. So this is the situation. And when I'm talking about Middle East, I'm talking especially about Hezbollah and Iran, because Hamas got inspiration, support, funds, means, and know-how from Iran. And this has allowed her actually to develop the tremendous capabilities, military capability, and to demonstrate them during the last 4 days, but furthermore. So actually Iran was and remained a multi-dimensional threat that not only focus on the nuclear, but also regarding terror and subversion. I think also Israel need to put focus, how can we straighten the Palestinian Authority, whether in order to avoid the collapse of the Palestinian Authority, but also just to emerge any chance that in the future the Palestinian Authority maybe will manage to go back to Gaza Strip and to take control there. Now I'll try to show the Israeli side, how did we get to this terrible war that start only 4 days, and as I said, it will last for a long time, as I assume. We actually knew about the Hamas strategy. Hamas all the time talk about the great campaign, the military campaign that will lead to the destroy or defeat of Israel. We also speculated what is going to be this kind of a campaign. So we said it will be multi-dimension campaign, which means through the air, through the land, through the air. It will be combined, which means rocket, raids, kidnapping, and multi-Palestinian arena. According to Hamas, and they all the time talk about it, their vision was that West Bank, Jerusalem, Gaza Strip, the North border, and also Israeli Arabs will unify and will defeat Israel. So according to the Hamas, the whole big campaign was actually prepared to create this condition in order to establish an Islamic state between the river and the sea. This is what the thing. So over the years, there was kind of wishful thinking, illusion, or I don't know how to talk about it, but there was kind of thought that maybe Hamas, that has become sovereign in the Gaza Strip, will be slowly, gradually more moderate, and its obligation to the civilian aspect will be much more bigger than its obligation to the resistance and to the military capability. I must say that from time to time, we faced facts that shown us that Hamas is still totally obligated to their goals as a terror organization and not to the civilian aspect, and I will elaborate later on. So actually, Hamas that actually took over the Gaza Strip in 2007, not by election, not by reconciliation, but by terror. That time it took it from the Palestinian Authority and the Fatah. It was part of his DNA, and Israel didn't find any solution how to deal with it beside imposed blockade. But also this solution wasn't with any result, and more than this, it actually jeopardized Israel because Israel all the time kind of afraid that there will be humanitarian crisis in the Gaza Strip. And another thing that the Palestinian Authority didn't want to go back to the Gaza Strip, of course not with the assistance of Israel from its point of view. And Israel didn't want to go back to Gaza Strip because we already went there, we've been there, and we didn't want to go back again. So in the reality in which there is no proper solution, Israel and Hamas managed to create kind of modus vivendi. Actually, partial and temporary coexistence has been created between Israel and Hamas. So Hamas and Israel actually played kind of game. Israel accepts the sovereignty of Hamas in the Gaza Strip, and Israel buy from Hamas period of relevant quiet. And this was a game that was very continued during the time. In return, Israel provide Hamas easing the siege, and it was very prominent, mainly after military operation or after the return campaign during 2018 and during 2080 and 90, while Hamas channeled people to defense and they were act violence, and Israel agreed to actually remove the siege or part of this. Now, Hamas the whole time continue to put efforts in order to build up its military forces, and it focused on the developing not only Gaza Strip but also in other arena like the West Bank.
I get a couple of messages saying they can't hear you well enough. So there you go.
Okay. So Israel actually reduced the scope of the siege and let Hamas to upgrade its capability in the Gaza Strip. But then Hamas managed to find another formula. The new formula was, okay, we will keep quiet on the Gaza Strip, but in the meantime, we will send our arms to the other area, which means the West Bank and which means the Lebanon and Syria, and even to the Eastern Jerusalem and the Israeli Arab. Did we ask ourselves from time to time, does we find out signals that point out that Hamas is become moderate? Of course. And we always try to say that 2 decades after Hamas took over Gaza Strip, we don't find any element that's showing that Hamas became a moderate. Hamas stick to his vision, to his goal, to its aim, and we don't see any element that show that it became a moderate. From time to time we can see that it's pragmatic, but it's not a moderate. So this was the situation during that time, and I can bring some example to show how Hamas didn't agree to give up the resistance and still focus on the military buildup, and I think that the fact that just passed through the years. First of all, when even the Palestinian Authority suggests Hamas to join the PLO, but just to accept the quartet element, which means recognize Israel and they accept the agreement in the past, Hamas said that it won't happen. Only in 2017, Senwar just lectured to the Palestinian student, and say, we will never accept Israeli existence. We are all the time continuing to build up our military forces. It's not going to be. Hamas also took advantage the easing of Israeli according the Palestinian society, like factories that were supposed to improve the life of the Gazans, took advantage by Hamas in order to infiltrate arm to the West Bank. People that Israel led them to have medical treatment in Israel, were exploited in order to deliver messages, in order to promote terror attacks. So all the time, when Hamas had the opportunity to choose between civilian aspect and military aspect, the choice was obvious. It was just for the military aspect. I must say that, as I said before, Hamas wasn't the exclusive actor in the Palestinian Arena. There's also the Palestinian Authority. And I think during the years, these two players that are playing zero-sum game find that the balance is going to change. If in the past the Palestinian Authority was stronger, now because Israel easing the blockade on the Hamas, actually Hamas became stronger and stronger. And I think this is one of the mistakes that Israel did, because we need to strengthen the Palestinian Authority. As I said before, maybe in any chance that the Palestinian Authority will go back to the Gaza Strip and take control. But the huge, I think, important things is my colleague here talked about is the connection between the Hamas and the resistance camp, the Shia camp, which means Iran and Hezbollah. I think that the turning point was on 2021, while Yahya Sinwar decided to put beside the understanding between Israel and the Hamas and launch rocket through Jerusalem. Then he managed to, first of all, to surprise Israel, but also to unify the Palestinian arena, because it was Israeli Arabs and Palestinians in the West Bank and in Gaza and even Eastern Jerusalem. So I think in this point, Iran and Hezbollah understood that Hamas is kind of essence, that we need assets, that they need to take advantage and to cooperate, not as a sponsor, but much more kind of ally, that together they will manage to harm Israel from different fronts, and they will manage to make Israel weaker. And from Iranian point of view, if Israel is weakened, it cannot focus on Iran. And I think this was a crucial turning point. I think that Hamas was training for a long time. I don't know, I wasn't there during the last year in the research, but I'm sure that Hamas was practicing for a long time in order to carry out these attacks. And I think that Hamas decided it is ready when it felt that it has operational readiness. He exploited the fact that Israel thought that Israel is now weak, and also the regional construction was there. But I think that all these operations indicate that from the beginning, Hamas was a radical movement, and it remained a radical movement led by radical and cool leadership, and it all the way remained true to his vision, which is destroy and diminish